The standard book of spells has just been released, and here is the current deck I'm using it with. I'm calling it the Standard Book of Luna deck. Not so creative, but there you have it. Remember that the Standard Book of Spells summon both spell and summon cards that will cost 2 MP to cast. The card itself costs 2 MP, and it actually saves you a lot of MP since you get 4 cards for the low cost of 8 MP. The card can even give you powerful cards like Whizbangs and Fiendfire, which normally cost 7 MP. This is the deck that I've been using in Grandmaster, and it's getting us wins even though we face opponents of a higher deck average than we do. The Echo that I'm using for this deck is the Luna Echo. The Luna Echo gets buffed whenever you cast a spell, and since the Standard Book of Spells counts as a spell, it already buffs the Echo. Then there's the possibility of getting 4 other spells that only cost 2 MP. Now here are the cards that I'm using for this deck. First is Headless Hunt. This card gets buffed whenever you summon creatures, so it'll be good for a Luna deck. Next is the Standard Book of Spells. This allows us to buff both the Headless Hunt and the Luna Echo. Then we have Glacius for the pure totem locomotors that you're sure to encounter, Aguamenti for dealing with any flying summons as well as damaging opponents, Atmosphere Charm, it's my highest level spell, so it's there to increase our damage. Acromantial Venom can be replaced with Monster Book of Monsters, and this is what I use for creatures that are hiding in Nebulous. It's also good for slowing down summons. Inflatus to stop the cast of Aguamenti, Orb of Water, or Crucio, also a low cost spell for dealing with Death Eaters. Finally, Swelling Solution for buffing our summons and your partners, since I mainly use this in duos. Now for companions, we have Luna as our starting companion. We have mostly spells in our deck, so Luna can start summoning creatures quickly. Then we have Ron and McGonagall, both for dealing with our opponent's summons, and with the cards coming from the Standard Book of Spells, it also could give us a knight to fight for us. The main strategy for this deck is to use our spells to buff the Luna Echo so we get the Thestral. Then when we have the Headless Hunt, we buff that with the creatures from the Standard Book of Spells too. We then buff powerful summons with Swelling Solution. When the match starts, I will usually wait for 10 MP before bringing out Luna. Then I start casting spells like a mad wizard. Hopefully she'll be able to summon a couple of creatures before our opponent gets rid of her. Then hopefully when we get the Standard Book of Spells, we can use it to either buff Headless Hunt or the Luna Echo. Priority for damage will be coming from the Luna Echo's Thestral. This allows us to defeat decks that are 2 to 3 levels higher than we are. Sometimes you can get lucky and you'll be able to defeat decks that have level 20 cards, but they still really hurt. I'm looking at you, level 20 troll in a Hagrid deck. This deck does pretty well against slower decks like Dumbledore and Bellatrix. If you're able to burst your opponents fast enough before they start having Whizbangs for the Dumbledore Echo and 3 Death Eaters for the Bellatrix Echo. What's going to challenge you are the summoning decks because they can overwhelm you while you're waiting for your Thestrals and Headless Hunt. Just make sure to try and clear the field with Glacius and Acromantial Venom, or even with Thestrals, as the continuous damage of summons adds up pretty quickly. Then there's also the fast decks like Harry, Hermione, and other Luna decks. Then that's just about who is the faster deck, or also has the more powerful cards. This is a great deck to use if your deck is a lower average than those in your current tier, since the buffing of the Echo and the Headless Hunt helps balance the difference a little bit. So let me know if you would use this deck. Until next time, fellow mages, see you in the wizarding world.